Congressman Wolf, thank you for your valiant efforts on behalf of the fallen men in Benghazi and on behalf of persecuted Christians around the world. You've stepped out in faith on these issues, and for that we are truly grateful. Now we ask you to step out in faith once more on fighting Obamacare through the defunding effort. This unaffordable law is antithetical to Christian principles, cloaked deceptively as it is with compassion. As we know, evil often disguises itself as virtuous. Yet thinking people understand that Obamacare is immoral and will enslave us not just financially, but more importantly, morally. Everywhere we look in our culture, we see the erosion of decency and the cheapening of God-given human life. One need only start with the employer mandate of Obamacare, which refuses to allow religious and other conscience exceptions, forcing us to subsidize what we believe is the murder of unborn children. Further along the lifespan, we see rationing of health care to the most vulnerable, to the disabled, the elderly, children in need of a transplant. The list is long and includes many of our loved ones. We see the pronouncements of experts, such as Dr. Peter Singer and Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, who even shockingly suggest that we withhold care from infants until the age of 2 and ration it until young adulthood, until we can see if these human beings are a drain on the system or not. These people create charts of recommended healthcare expenditures, which, interesting enough, parallel the price of a human slave, a male slave, in the 1850s. Yet these darkened hearts were very influential in crafting this legislation. Now we are on course to place a price tag on human life. A loving grandmother, a child of God beloved of her family, will now be valued according to her economic value to society. Her treatments will be based on cost effectiveness, and she will be told to just take a pill and suffer in pain while her family suffers as well. The price tag mentality will be disguised as studies begin to appear that show once proven treatments and screenings are somehow no longer necessary, with the implicit understanding that we have to accept that a certain percentage of lives will be lost as a result. These lives could be full for decades more if they only receive the proper treatment or the proper screening at the proper time. Our private lives will be violated as our most personal medical and financial records will be accessible to numerous strangers who, we now learn, will not even be subject to undergo background checks. Not only are we even more vulnerable to fraud and identity theft, but a sword will now hang over our heads as we wonder, if we dare express political opinions, will our healthcare access be compromised or our medical records leaked to the public? One last point, Congressman Wolf. We know many Republican senators and representatives fear a vote to defund Obamacare will enable Democrats to charge them with trying to shut down the government. But that is not the case. You can fund the other functions of government and yet stop this law. In fact, an increasing majority of Americans are deeply opposed to this law, and we are counting on the moral courage of Republicans to stop it. Will we stand before the Lord and be able to say that we truly tried to stop this before our nation traveled down this road? The Bible is full of stories of people who were bold in fighting injustice, fighting for what is right and moral. They succeeded because they were bold. Their faith was rewarded. They did not yield to arguments of fear. In consistency with the other stands you have taken, Mr. Wolf, please do likewise. Please stop this monstrosity now by withholding funding before the Affordable Care Act worms its way into our national fabric and our national soul. Thank you.